I'm a local community member. I'm here today with Teaneck for Palestine, Healthcare Workers for Palestine, and Doctors Against Genocide. We're here to protest the abduction of Dr. Abu Safia and over 450 healthcare workers that have been abducted by the Israeli occupation, along with the continued onslaught of bombings of hospitals in Gaza, assassinations of doctors and healthcare workers, targeting ambulances, um, and the continued stoppage of food and fuel to the hospitals. So Teaneck is particular for a few reasons. First of all, anywhere Zionism lives is an invitation for supporters of Palestine to speak out against the occupation. But Teaneck specifically has had a very specific history as this random suburb in New Jersey to uphold the state of Israel. Teaneck has been the site of many real estate events where Israeli real estate companies come and they sell plots of West Bank pieces of the West Bank for people to buy before the blood's even dried as far as the Zionist occupation. Teaneck has a lot of residents who actually go and deploy and fight for the IDF in Israel, even as American citizens. Teaneck Public High Schools was part of the lawsuit that the Department of Education opened in their slew of investigations to different schools on false claims of anti-Semitism. And most recently, Zionists in Teaneck have been bragging that they were part of the people who fundraised to raise money for the drone that was used to identify Sinwar before he was martyred, Aljarrah. So Teaneck is actually very, very particularly involved with maintaining Zionism. You know, we urge everyone to start investigating their local ties to Zionism wherever they are in America. At this event today, we had various healthcare workers from New Jersey speaking against the genocide and against the specific targeted assassinations and abductions of healthcare workers. We had different healthcare workers who have family in Gaza, who have themselves deployed to medical missions and actually served in Gaza during the continued bombings. And we have different doctors who serve either in the Arab Medical Association or other New Jersey-based medical associations who are trying to organize, especially against the silence that doctors are pressured into regarding speaking out against Zionism. So you can follow Healthcare Workers for Palestine on Instagram, Doctors Against Genocide, and Teaneck for Palestine on Instagram. Also, if you have Telegram, definitely get plugged into Wool Palestine and the Resistance News Network for news that is not supporting propaganda from the Zionist occupation.
First, I want to thank the organizers of today's press conference, namely TFP. Please give them a round of applause. Teaneck for Palestine. We are gathered here today because our media and our elected officials are failing us, our families, and namely the people of Gaza. We want to bring attention to the onslaught against healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, medical professionals. Whether they are part of a nonprofit or they're part of a UN agency, it is clear that Israel, it is directly targeting them. Directly targeting them, hospitals, and medical facilities. We are here today not only to hear from the medical workers' perspective, but to honor our heroes and our martyrs. We're here to amplify their voices so the media can finally cover it and the politicians can finally take action. So President Biden, Vice President Harris, Governor Murphy, Senators Booker and Kim, and Congressman Josh Gottheimer, you are all on notice for your complicity in the genocide against Palestinians. Now, some of you are wondering, why are we doing it here in Teaneck today? We're doing it here given its representation, given the controversies that occur here. Some may call it Tel Aviv Teaneck. But the goal for today is for that to not be the case. Our goal today is that when you think of Teaneck, you think for Palestine. Yeah! Let's try that out. When I say Teaneck for who, you say Teaneck for Palestine. You ready? Yeah. Teaneck for who? Palestine. Teaneck for who? Palestine. Teaneck for who? Palestine. One more time. Teaneck for who? So now we're going to start the speaker portion of our press conference. Our first speaker is Dr. Amal Al-Shrouf. She is a Palestinian American pulmonologist and a sleep medicine specialist, and the president of the New Jersey chapter of the National Arab American Medical Association. She will be giving us an overview of the dire healthcare situation in Gaza and highlight for elected officials what they need to do to stop the attack on healthcare workers, their patients, and their facilities. So Dr. Shrouf, please.
Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Dr. Amal Al-Shrouf, and I stand before you today on behalf of the National Arab American Medical Association New Jersey chapter and healthcare workers from New Jersey, united by our commitment to do no harm. The violence in Gaza has deeply shocked us all, and equally disturbing is the silence of the American Medical Association and our medical community. The refusal of the AMA to call for ceasefire, citing its irrelevance to advocacy, leaves us questioning not only our ethics, but also our responsibility as healthcare providers. It is a physician's duty to address the inequities in health and human rights violations. The World Medical Association Code of Medical Ethics compels us to speak out against the atrocities faced by healthcare workers in Gaza, whom are confronting a combination of genocide, limited resources, and a strained healthcare system. Despite the overwhelming challenges, healthcare workers in Gaza remain dedicated to their patients, often at great risk, personal risk. Some of the key issues that they face include some, but not all. Number one, the overcrowded hospitals. The frequent escalations leave hospitals beyond capacity. Number two, the lack of medical supplies. The ongoing blockade caused severe shortages of essential resources. Number three, personal risk. Healthcare workers are constantly exposed to violence, with hospitals and ambulances targeted directly. Number four, emotional and mental strain. The trauma of working in a war zone leads to burnout, PTSD, and mental health issues. Number five, staff shortages. Severe understaffing contributes to staff exhaustion. Number six, limited training. The restrictions hinder the ongoing professional development and access to advanced management. Number seven, restricted aid. The blockade delays or prevents vital international assistance. Targeting healthcare workers and facilities has exacerbated these crises. Since October 2023, 654 healthcare facilities in Gaza have been attacked, resulting in 886 deaths and 1,349 injuries. only 16 out of 36 hospitals remain partially functional, with just 1,822 beds, far too few for the overwhelming need. Over 1,000 workers have been killed since October 2023. Healthcare workers also face direct targeting. Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya, the director of Pal-Awda Hospital, was detained, tortured, humiliated in front of other detainees. He was denied family visits and access to his lawyer. Hospitals and ambulances have been bombed, and emergency medical services are severely hampered by the destruction of the roads and the infrastructure. The targeting of medical facility violates the international humanitarian law, including the Geneva Conventions, which prohibits attacks on healthcare workers and facilities. Yet, these violations persist, resulting in further loss of life and destruction of critical healthcare infrastructure. A recent report from the British journal The Lancet, released Friday, revealed that the true death toll in Gaza is likely much higher than the official report that says 46,537 deaths and 100,009 injuries due to the blockade and lack of health care. The study, which was published January 10, 2025, states that the first 9 months of the war saw a death toll of 40% higher than what was reported officially, highlighting the ongoing humanitarian catastrophe. In face of this, the American Medical Association passed a resolution in June of 2024 calling for peace in Israel and Palestine, but stopped short of calling for a ceasefire. As healthcare workers standing for Palestine, we demand the following. Number one, the immediate release of Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya and all 450 healthcare workers detained in Israel's torture sites. Number two, an end to the destruction of healthcare facilities and the killing of healthcare workers. Number three, the immediate delivery of fuel and essential resources to Gaza hospitals. Number four, a permanent ceasefire to allow Gaza to recover and rebuild. Number five, provision of both physical and mental health services to those in urgent need. We stand here today not just as healthcare workers, but as human beings bound by our duty to protect the lives of the and we call the international community to hold the violators of international law accountable and ensure the protection of healthcare workers and facilities. We urge you to take immediate action. Thank you, everyone, for coming and for your support.
So as we look to honor our martyrs, I would like us to think about how we can do our martyr stories justice. I believe the best way is to humanize and spread their story, so when a non-Palestinian, such as a name like John Smith, hears about Dr. Hamam Alou's story, they think about how their sibling became a doctor and saved other people's lives. Our next speaker is one of New Jersey's very own heroes. Zahed Rahman is an ICU RN who is a member of the Palestinian American Medical Association, Healthcare Workers for Humanity, and Doctors Against Genocide. He went to Gaza in the spring of 2024 and worked at the European Gaza Hospital in Rafah. We're honored to have him be here today and speak and share his on-ground experience in Gaza and highlighting for the average American and for the mainstream media about what they should know about his experience in Gaza. So, Brother Zahed Rahman, please step up to the stage.
I'm not a public speaker. I'm a nurse. I take care of people. So professional speaking or speaking in situations like this is not something that's very common to me. So forgive me for stuttering or anything of the sort. As I stand before you today as a proud American nurse bearing witness to the atrocities committed in Gaza, as an American humanitarian healthcare worker, I've seen the devastating impact of genocide and an apartheid, and I'm obligated to share my experience. My words today are dedicated to the people of Gaza who've been impacted, who have impacted their community at large with little to no resources. Ala, an ICU nurse who's worked tirelessly without salary since October of 2023, who's been displaced many times, and her only wish is when she goes home is to have a wall to rest on. To Faris Abu Faris, who is a native Patterson resident, who chose to stay in Gaza to provide humanitarian aid. To Yusuf and Muhammad Safiya, the brave brothers who ensured our safety and providing us logistics and security for all the delegations that were coming from abroad. To all the nurses at the European Gaza Hospital, to all the nurses at European Gaza Hospital who fed us despite having their own struggles. To the countless independent journalists that have been murdered as they report on this genocide. And to the martyred artists of Gaza whose creative voices and talent will never be seen. In Gaza, I saw firsthand the results of an apartheid that led to this resistance, that led to this genocide. The estimated death toll is upwards of 200,000 or more by respected medical journals. I personally saw a 13-year-old girl who was shot in the abdomen, brought to the ICU, and all of her blood that should have been in her body was pooled underneath in the stretcher. I saw a man who arrived to the hospital on a donkey cart after he got shot in the foot. I met a beautiful 10-year-old girl who only days before I met her had unfortunately had to bury her entire family lineage, her parents, her grandparents, her aunts and uncles, her cousins, and she was the only survivor. We demand an immediate release of Dr. Hussam Abu Safia and his 450 colleagues abducted by Israeli forces. We demand justice for the 1,100 healthcare workers victimized by Israeli occupation forces. We demand open gates for humanitarian workers and aid. We demand protection for healthcare workers who are not a target. As healthcare workers, we're committed to caring for the wounded and the ill. We're obligated to be impartial, sensitive, and report factual evidence, whether that be in America or abroad. And we will not be silenced. The people of Gaza have shown us love, resilience, and courage despite their situation. It's our responsibility to amplify their voices, demand justice, and provide humanitarian aid and help rebuild. Let us stand together against genocide and for the sanctity of human life. As an American nurse who proudly serves the American community, I reiterate and I demand Dr. Hussam Abu Safia and the 450 colleagues abducted from Amal-Awda must be freed. Silence is complicity, and healthcare workers are not a target. Dr. Adnan Al-Bursh and over 1,100 healthcare workers who've been martyred. We demand justice and accountability. The Israeli forces must stop targeting healthcare workers and civilians immediately. Gaza needs to be flooded with unrestricted aid immediately. Indigenous healthcare workers under attack. Healthcare workers are not a target. We demand justice. We demand an end to the apartheid. and we demand freedom and respect. I ask us all here to raise our voice, to share their stories, and to demand a change from our leaders. Thank you.
Our next speaker is a speaker whose brother was in Gaza and was killed by Israel. Shame. He was killed by Israel in November of 2023 during the first month of the genocide. And when she speaks today, she's going to talk about her brother and his accounts and her own experience herself growing up in Gaza. So for us, we can understand the stories of both the martyrs and the families of the martyrs. So it's an honor and a privilege to introduce Dr. Allah.
My name is Shayma Allah. I'm a physician who works here in New Jersey, and I have worked in Gaza, and particularly in the Shifa Hospital. And I also have practiced in Jordan. I stand in solidarity with my healthcare co-workers here in Gaza. I stand in solidarity with my healthcare co-workers here in the United States, in Gaza, in Jordan, and in any spot in the rest of the world. The systematic destruction of the healthcare infrastructure in Gaza and in any place in the world should by no means be acceptable and normalized. We represent the most humanitarian work field that can ever be, and there should be zero tolerance to any form of harm related to the provision of healthcare to humans anywhere. In November 2023, I lost my brother, Dr. Amal Allah, who was a nephrologist who dedicated his life for his patients with kidney disease and kidney transplant. I also lost my father, who was an engineer volunteering to help colostomy patients, and also lost my sister-in-law father, who was an anesthesiologist. I continue to lose so many of my colleagues I have worked with in the Shifa Hospital and across Gaza, including pathologists like myself, surgeons, internists, and so many others across other specialties, and also nurses, technicians, and supporting staff who were on top of their work offering help to kids, elderly, and the extremely sick. I get contacted every day by my relatives and friends over there in Gaza, seeking medical advice for their health conditions that evolve over there in their situation, for which they have limited to non-existent resources to treat or to relieve their pain, starting from infections, kids and women with malnutrition, to a recent call that I just had for my aunt who was found to have a brain tumor. These people who are sick and extremely helpless, in addition to people who get targeted and wounded by the military attacks, they have no resources, limited resources. The pain is crippling and the suffering is beyond description. We call to stop these destructive measures and we call for a ceasefire now. Thank you very much.
Our last speaker today is my brother, Wasim Qanan. He is the chair of the New Jersey chapter of the American Muslims for Palestine, and he advocates for just U.S. policies on Palestinian liberation. He is committed to justice. And Wasim, he works to understand and address the interconnected systems of oppression. So Brother Wasim Qanan, please step up.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. We stand here to say that we have and we continue to reject the normalization of Zionism, of the dehumanization of Palestinians, and the dehumanization of Black and brown people in the United States and across the globe. the atrocities that we see today, the absurdity that we witness daily, is a product of decades of dehumanization of the Palestinian people. Starting with the proliferation of the Zionist ideology, the racist, settler colonial, oppressive, evil ideology that is Zionism. Accepting Zionism has transformed into the ethnic cleansing that we see today. The murder, the land theft that we see today. An ounce of Zionism has grown into what we see today. And so we reject Zionism in all its forms. No matter how soft or liberal you think you are, we reject it. Accepting the siege on Gaza in 2005 has turned into accepting the full evil suffocation of Gaza today, the starvation of its children, of its men, of its women, and the full isolation of Gaza from the world, including but not limited to the depletion of our hospitals in Gaza and all its resources, its fuel, its energy, the basics. Our brother shared, he visited Gaza, and he went to Gaza, and we listened to the doctors in our community. There are many who talk about when they went to Gaza, they took gauze with them in their bags, and that was taken from them. Simple, basic needs. Palestinians are undergoing complex medical procedures without anesthesia. Doctors brave, performing these surgeries with what they can have in their hands, what they can find. And that's not normal. We reject it. It's not acceptable. The indiscriminate bombing of Gaza in 2008, 2012, and 14, and 18, and 2020, and 2022 has turned into the full destruction that we see today. In 2008, I was in high school, and I didn't understand what it meant to allow, to normalize that indiscriminate bombing of Gaza. And today, when we see the destruction of Gaza, of our universities, of all civilian infrastructure, absolutely razed, indiscriminately, heartlessly, evil, that is what it meant to allow it to happen in 2008. This, today, was an inevitable symptom of allowing Zionism to proliferate around the world. Settler colonial ideologies. What we did to the native nations of these lands. Shame. Today we stand on the land of the Lenape people. We stand on blood and bones that paved the way for Zionism. But we're told, we're led to believe that international institutions exist to prevent this absurdity. That's what they've told us. That's what they fed us. We live in a world of morality, of humanity. We live in a different age. What does that look like now? You tell me. What is that experiment that they've sold us? That they shoved down our throat? That they told us applies to us also? Where have we gotten with that? They're trying to what? Criminalize the ICC, right? I mean, look, right? Just from an analysis perspective, the institution that was created to prevent genocides, all they have to do is deny it. And then they run with it. They run with their denial. They run with their hate. They run with their dehumanization. But the world has spoken. The world has spoken. They want to gaslight us. They want to gaslight us into believing that we are wrong. They want to gaslight us into believing that we are violent. They want to silence us. They want to take this video, these words. They want to weaponize it. They want to say, I don't belong in the reasonable world because I, one who's fighting against genocide, against injustice, am the unreasonable one. They want to gaslight us. But what they don't know is that we will say, take it all. Take it all from me. I am ready. Take it all. Because today, tomorrow, and forever, we will never stop shouting, free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
I don't know how proponents of Zionism sleep at night. I really couldn't do it. I really couldn't. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. We have crossed so many lines as a species with the Zionist state's onslaught on Gaza. The harm cannot be undone. But corrective measures can be taken. Real, substantive, honest. My brothers and sisters shared the demands, and we stand behind those demands. And those are just our immediate demands. What precedent has this set? What world do we live in? A world of genocide denial. A world in which lies prevail over the truth, despite the hard truth and information being readily available. And this will not end well for anybody, including those perpetuating these crimes. History shows us tables turn, new oppressors rise. And if you're sitting at the top of that oppressive system, that's not going to last forever. I don't even know what to ask of these so-called elected officials in this country anymore. I don't even know what else there is left to say. Shame on you!
Shame on you!
Shame!
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 We demand from the international community an immediate arms embargo. We demand with whatever humanity can be found by these people who occupy the halls on Capitol Hill. Whatever ounce of humanity you can find. Stop hiding. Stop lying. Truth, we know it. It will prevail. You can only hide for so long. You will be held accountable. You will be held accountable. The atrocities are too heavy. The oppression is too stark. The reality is too prevalent. There is no hiding. The mountains of information is available to us. We know it. We see it. It's there, whether you like it or not. We demand that the elected officials in this country respect international warrants for the war criminals of the Zionist state and all of those involved in perpetuating this genocide. We demand a U.S. arms embargo on the Zionist state. And that is what we demand. And we will not go any lighter. To the people, stay steadfast. Sumud in Arabic. Remain steadfast. Because truth will prevail. I said I don't know how Zionists sleep at night. I struggle to sleep at night. But what puts me to sleep is that, first of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the greatest. And then, that the truth will prevail. And the truth will be on our side. Continue as much as you can. I know it's exhausting. Continue. Sign your petitions. Get outside. Reach out. Be effective. Join these gatherings. Thank you to everybody who's joined today. We will not stop. We will not rest. Work within your grasp. Whatever union you are a part of, wherever space you sit, they want us to be silent. But we will never be silent. Because our brothers and sisters are absolutely, we will never let them go. I was going to say priceless, but I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know how to express what the people of Gaza mean to me. I don't have those words. I'm going to be honest. Demand that they stop the insanity. Demand a full withdrawal of the Zionist state from all historic Palestine. Demand it. Whether they like it or not, demand it. Settler colonial terror has played out. It's not over, unfortunately, at this time. But it's playing out, and we see it for what it is. And lean into your truth. Be proud. Lean into your truth. I know my truth, whether they like it or not. And again, take it all. Take it all. Take it all. The people of Gaza have sacrificed tremendously. I see my baby crying and it makes me cry because I wish for the people of Gaza, the babies of Gaza, to cry what she's crying about. Because she wants to wear her Mickey Mouse underwear. Not because she can't find a wall to lean on. Because she wants a banana and not a cucumber. And not because they can't find anything to eat. And I'll end with saying, I haven't thought this one out or written it down yet, but I want to say it because it matters to me. We talk about the people of Gaza and we see our kids, our community, our people, and we say, oh, well, you should see, or what about the people of Gaza? Well, the people of Gaza, what they're going through is not normal, right? And so we shouldn't qualify our reality to say, oh, what about the people of Gaza? No, we go to the people of Gaza and we say and we fight for them to have our problems. Because their problems should not be the standard. It's not normal. It is not normal. What is happening is not normal. And I'm proud to say that over and over again. Because I know that when I say that, I'm the rational one. So we're going to do a call out and call back. We're going to highlight the various hospitals that have been destroyed in Gaza, in Lebanon, and in the West Bank. I'm going to say, and you repeat after me. Inshallah, this goes smoothly. And if not, we'll keep trying. Bismillah. Indonesian hospital.
Indonesian hospital.
International Eye Hospital.
International Eye Hospital.
Al-Ahli Arab Hospital.
Al-Ahli Arab Hospital.
Turkish Palestinian Friendship Hospital.
Turkish Palestinian Friendship Hospital.
Kamal Adwan Hospital.
Amal Al-Shrouf Hospital.
Free Dr. Hussam Abu Safia.
Free Dr. Abu Safia.
Al-Quds Hospital.
Al-Quds Hospital.
Al-Shifa Hospital.
Al-Shifa Hospital.
Pal-Awda Hospital.
Pal-Awda Hospital.
Yafa Hospital.
Jaffa Hospital.
Khalil Suleiman Hospital.
Khalil Suleiman Hospital.
Nasser Medical Complex.
Nasser Medical Complex.
Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital.
Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital.
Jordan Field Hospital.
Jordan Field Hospital.
The Palestine Red Crescent.
Palestine Red Crescent.
Al-Amal Hospital.
Al-Amal Hospital.
Gaza City Clinic.
Gaza City Clinic.
Haneen Hospital.
Haneen Hospital.
Masih Al-Jabal Hospital.
Masih Al-Jabal Hospital.
Ibn Sina Hospital.
Ibn Sina Hospital.
And Jenin Government Hospital.
Jenin Government Hospital.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
I have a question. What is one thing that you want everyone here to take away from? Wasim, we're going to start with you. We're going to work our way down.
We all have the power to do something. Collectively, together, in unity, we work in our individual capacities. And that is how change is brought. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. This reality is temporary. Hold on, fight, hold hope, and continue forward, inshallah.
I ask for ceasefire right now. Everyone deserves to live in freedom. Everyone deserves to live in peace. Kids should not freeze to death. Kids should not sleep hungry at night. We have to stop these atrocities.
The one takeaway that I would ask everyone here is to see what's going on in the world and does it make sense? Is this what our American values are all about? We know for a fact that this atrocity that's happening in Gaza would never be tolerated for a single day here in the United States. We've had a fire in California that's lasted, 3 days? And you have the entire government up in arms, ready to spend whatever kind of money and to restore life, to bring back some peace and stability to that part of America. Gaza has been burning for 16 months, and the whole world is silent. From our tax dollars, right? The same tax dollars that we could be spending here in the United States, we're sending abroad. So the one message that I want everyone to take away from here is that we do have that power. You know, coming out to protests like this, using your social media, whatever resources that you do have, use your voice, use your time, spend your wealth, and spend it in the path of righteousness. That's the only way we're going to bring about global change.
Our words are powerful. Our kufiyas are powerful. Our social media is powerful too. Continue to speak up, continue to go out. Don't forget about them, don't normalize it. Don't just forget it. It's not just something that happened, like something that has, like, that came in and just went away. They are still experiencing it, they're still living it. Our words needs to be heard. If you don't say something, other people will say something. So say something, at least do whatever you can. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, our heroes. This concludes the press conference for today. But before we conclude, I want us to do a chant.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine!
My name is Rabbi Dovid Feldman. I'm with Neturei Karta International, Jews United Against Zionism, and we are here after 15 months of genocide in Gaza, especially recently when this Adnan hospital was attacked, and the medical director of the hospital was incarcerated, arrested. This is ridiculous. On top of all these crimes taking place, when the healthcare workers are being attacked, this is something that should wake up the rest of humanity to do everything we can to stop this. We are presently here in Teaneck, New Jersey, right in front of City Hall, joining a press conference here, and we call out to the world, to the United States, to our elected officials, to humanity, to do everything in their power to stop what is going on. Yes, we need a permanent ceasefire, but this permanent ceasefire is not even enough. We need the end of this entire occupation, because what's going on for 15 months is criminal. And what is going on for 76 years is criminal. This is embarrassing to humanity when we are sitting here in the United States and we are silent and we allow all of this to continue. We as Jewish people, we are embarrassed when all of this is being done in our name. And we stand up on behalf of the silent majority of Jewish people around the world, and we say, no, this is not in our name, this is not in the name of our religion. According to our religion, all of this is forbidden. Masses of Jewish people are against all what is taking place, and it is not anti-Semitic to speak up against these crimes. First and foremost, we have to understand that Judaism and Zionism is not the same. Judaism is a religion, Zionism is a political movement, should never be confused. Masses of Jewish people are against all what is happening. And when we are witnessing crimes, we should condemn the crimes. We should stop those crimes regardless who the perpetrators of them are. In this case, when the perpetrators of the crimes are some people from Jewish descent, this is embarrassing to us as Jews, but it doesn't make its criticism anti-Semitic in any way. We proudly stand here in Teaneck. We proudly stand up across the world, joining righteous people, people of conscience, and we say no. All of this has to stop, and we encourage the rest of the world to do everything we all can to stop this, because what is going on in Gaza has reached a limit that no righteous person can remain silent, sit idle, or sleep at night. It's about time to wake up. Our website is www.n as in Nancy, KUSA.org. There are, on the homepage, there are social media pages where you can learn about our views, the voice of many Jewish communities, and activities that are being done in many parts of the world.
My name is Zahed Rahman, and I went to Gaza last spring, in spring of 2024, with an organization called Palestinian American Medical Associates, and I worked at European Gaza Hospital. Something that I've experienced in Gaza that has changed my perspective today. During my time in Gaza, I took care of people of all different ages. They were children, middle-aged, older adults. One thing that I noticed was the level of intelligence that was there, because you would have a nurse that was taking care of an adult patient right next to a pediatric patient. They're highly educated individuals, and they care about each other. They care about humanity, and they do the best they can with the little resources that they currently have. These are nurses and doctors that have been displaced since the beginning of the war, and some of them have been displaced multiple times. All of them have lost at least one family member each, yet they still show up to work unpaid. And when they commute from their tent cities, and they come to work through very difficult transportation routes. They have to take either a bus or they walk, and where they live is not safe. How they get to work is not safe, and the hospital that they work at is not safe. In America, we never have to worry about those things. In America, typically our homes are safe, our routes are safe, and our hospitals are extremely safe. There seems to be an injustice and an inequality in the standard of care and the standard of human life. American lives matter, American values matter, but I think those same values need to be put onto the international community, regardless of their ethnicity and their origin. Healthcare is supposed to be something that is a right, a privilege for all humanity. People in Gaza technically right now are fighting for that right, for the basic rights of food, of nutrition, of medication, to heal. Medical care is supposed to be impartial. It's not supposed to judge people. But yet we're okay watching the world just burn these hospitals down and watching these children have to get surgeries and amputations without any anesthesia. It's something that we all need to do a little bit of self-reflection and improve ourselves. The way Americans can help out, because I do firmly believe that the majority public is for Palestine. They're for the ceasefire. They're for to the end of Zionism, the end of occupation. What Americans need to do is then not to be afraid. Don't be afraid. Put yourself out there. Speak up. Speak to your coworkers. Speak to your colleagues. Speak to your representatives. Your votes count. Your voices count. Spend from your time. Go to these rallies, spend from your time, and go to your city council meetings and speak to your representatives, those people that you have elected into office. They have a job, they have an obligation to hear their constituents and to follow through. They have an obligation not to listen to the lobbyists, but they have an obligation to listen to their constituents, the people who have voted for them, because those votes are what got them into the office to begin with. Speak freely and without any fear. Palestinians currently, especially in Gaza, don't have anything of tangible goods. They don't have a home. They live in tents. They don't have food. They don't have water. And they lack the basic necessities of life that we all take for granted in America. One thing that I've learned is what they value is they value human relationships. They value life. And they're extremely, extremely resilient. These are individuals that, like I said before, these are doctors and nurses and professionals, barbershops, a mechanic, a plumber, whatever have you. These are all individuals that I have seen, I have witnessed firsthand, that are still currently working for the betterment of their community, because they are a resilient race, and they've taught me that you don't need anything but the simple desire to do something for your fellow man whom you love unconditionally. And that's what we need to do in America. We need to love ourselves and love our neighbors unconditionally, and love those people who can't do anything good for themselves. Love them. If you find someone on the street, love them. You find someone who's in a war-torn, genocidal state, love them. You find someone who's in California who just lost their house, love them. These things this is the one thing that is eternal, and it will save humanity.
Teaneck for who?
Teaneck for Palestine.